Hello everyone, welcome back. I am showing you how to paint a portrait of sorts from a sketch. I'm using this sketch, which I drew a number of years ago. I have quite a few little sketches in here. Let's see what else I have. Sketches of dresses that I might put on the figures. Let's see, I have another little sketch there. So I'm going to work on this one today. I didn't show me drawing that, it took a while. So I did it off camera, but this is just a regular pencil on top of a canvas board, and this is 20 by 20 centimeters or approximately 8 by 8 inches. And I'm using these as a color reference for the skin tones and the dresses. So I'm not sure which one. I'm probably going to model off this one, I think. Yeah, because it'll be fun to do little gold dots on the dress. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start by reinforcing my drawing with some burnt umber with a little bit of alizarin crimson. And the reason why I'm mixing those two together is burnt umber can be a little dull on its own, and I want to get some color in every mix that I have. I don't want any dull or gray colors, anything that would take the life out, you know. Even though I'm not painting from life, I'm using a sketch. Adding some nice different colors into the darker colors will liven up your portrait. So on this brush, on this thin brush, this is the thinnest brush I own. I wish I had a thinner one. But on this thin brush, I have that mixture, burnt umber, alizarin crimson, and I have a bit of solvent that I'm using to thin the paint so that I'm able to move the paint around a bit more. All right, so I need to concentrate and I need to have a steady hand. So I'm going to use my left hand to support my right wrist just so that I can make one smooth mark here. Made a little mistake there. That's all right. I think that's working. Okay, I'm gonna speed this part up right now. For the next 10 minutes or so, it will be a voiceover. I sped up a lot of the footage so that I could keep the video to under 25 minutes, okay? have added some French ultramarine blue to the burnt umber and alizarin crimson mixture to create just a darker, purplish black to outline the rest of the painting. I am mixing my own burnt sienna color for the darker parts of the skin, the ones that are most in shadow. So that would be a mixture of burnt umber, alizarin crimson, cadmium orange. I think that's about it. I think that's all I put in there. I want to create a dark reddish brown. I don't want it to be too dark or too cool, but I want this to be red and kind of show some life under the skin. For this next step, I add a bit more of the cadmium yellow pale and some titanium white. This is the skin tone that will be bringing the skin out of the shadows. To add a healthy glow to the skin, I'm going to make the mixture I had before, except I'm going to add some alizarin crimson, a bit more of the cadmium orange, and some titanium white. I'll be applying it to the nose, the cheeks, and the chin. Ooh, she gets some lipstick now. It's just some alizarin crimson with a little bit of burnt umber to knock it back. And I'm just going to give a quick wash of red onto the lips. Now for the middle tone color of the skin. That is the overall color, which will be a raw sienna tone with a bit more orange. Raw sienna is a deep golden ochre color that is a bit too golden for what I need at the moment. So I would add a bit of orange. To get that deep ochre color, I'm going to use burnt umber. I think I skipped the alizarin crimson because I don't need it to be red. So burnt umber, some cad orange, some cadmium yellow pale, and then a little bit of titanium white. I mixed a purple black for the dark side of the hair, and I'm applying it with a thicker brush and keeping my strokes very short and pushing it into the canvas to mimic the texture of afro hair. A big shift has happened here. As you can see, I have done the underpainting of the background, which is just given a wash of a peach tone and then a dusky rose tone on the dress, and I added a little white edge around the collar of the dress. Also, right now, as you can see, I am adding some makeup around the eyes. I took the darker tone, the skin tone which I had saved on the palette, and I added a bit of phthalo blue to it And now I am putting it a little bit under the eye in the corner and on the lid. I'm also adding some white to that mixture to put it in the center of the lid to give some shape to it and to show that there's light hitting on top there. I have also added the whites of the eyes, but I didn't go in with pure white as that would be that would have too much of a contrast. So I mixed a bit of phthalo blue in with some white and put that in the whites of the eyes. It's time to lay in the skin tone on the planes of the face where the light is hitting it the most. So this is the skin color that I use right before I add the highlights. Because the light source is cool and not warm, I need to knock the orange back. So I take a mixture that I had before. I added some titanium white and a little bit of cerulean, and now I'm getting a pale peach kind of color. It's time to add the highlights to the skin, and on this kind of golden pale kind of color I'm going to put a lavender highlight. So I used the same mix. I've added a bit more cerulean and a PBO Vivid Pink, and it makes a slightly silvery purpley tone to the skin, and it creates a really nice cool highlight on this golden toned skin. You can see I have some space left on the painting. I need to add a brighter, rosier, pinky kind of color to the cheeks and the nose to just give another hint of light shining on the front of the face. What a big difference a few highlights can make. I added pure white under the eye on the waterline. I added some in the whites of the eye and the iris of the eye, just very, very, very tiny. I also added some pure white to the pearl earring and the little strip on the collar of the dress. Right now I've just added some thick paint to the background, and now I'm smoothing out the brush strokes with a large palette knife. We'll now be mixing some dusky rose colors to add to the dress to show that there is light hitting certain parts of it. So I'll start with a middle tone so it's slightly lighter than what was already down, and then I'll add a bit more white and a bit more of the PBO Vivid Pink to give a highlight on the dress. Alright, now it's time to switch back to the regular video with live commentary. Right, I got some silver paint here. This Artist Oils silver. I put some on my palette already. Try to find a clean spot and just mixing it in with a little bit of my medium that I've been using here. And then, so I have it on the large palette knife. And so off of that, I'm going to scoop some onto the smaller bit here. And I'm going to put little dots around. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it wasn't as smooth as my other ones. It's because I don't paint my little portraits as often, but I hope it was informative. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process, and I'll see you next time. Bye!